Hello and welcome. My name is Jürgen Cito, and today I want to talk about joint work with my colleagues Jiasi, Shen, and Rinard on investigating the impact of a technique we call Deimplicitization on code comprehension in programs that use application frameworks. And when I say application frameworks, the focus of our study is on Ruby on Rails. However, in a lot of application frameworks, we see similar things. We see that abstractions often conceal lower level actions that happen in the background. Often these lower level actions that are concealed from us are called magic because they introduce hidden functionality through something called meta-programming. And the comprehension aspects here get even more complicated because they introduce implicit information flow. Now, for experts, that leads to increased productivity in particular domains. And they are faster because they have a better mental model of what the framework does in the background. However, for non-experts or newcomers to the language or the framework, they make it harder to understand and comprehend what's going on in a particular endpoint. Let's look at one example. In an open source example called Enki, which is a blogging application, let's look at an endpoint that gets a blogging page by a certain ID. So this is the example of all the files you need to identify and understand in order to know what's going on when you're accessing that endpoint. And not only that, but then also without any explicit notion within the code, you have to understand how these pages and code files are connected to understand what's going on. You also need to understand all the hidden functionality that it gets introduced through dynamic dispatch or implicit control and data flow, through magic functionality, to meta-programming. So all of these things are hidden behind abstractions and indirections. Now let's look at the same application from a different perspective. A perspective we call the deimplicitized version of this application.
Thank you, Jürgen. My name is Jiasi, and I'm going to show you the deimplicitized version of the example and our plans for an empirical study. Deimplicitizing means unifying the distributed and implicit flows into a single routine. For example, the following Python routine is the deimplicitized version of the application discussed on the previous slide. Here, the main functionality becomes this one SQL query in the middle, which references the input parameter. In this deimplicitized version, the control flow and data flow all become explicit. A way to obtain deimplicitized versions is by running our research tool called Conure, which intercepts database traffic during program execution. Our hypothesis is that deimplicitization can help developers to comprehend implicit programs. We split the hypothesis into 3 research questions. Does it improve comprehension time? Does it improve comprehension correctness? And does it depend on the expertise of the application framework? We plan to conduct online experiments where developers perform comprehension tests. The control group reads only the implicit versions, that is the Ruby on Rails implementations. The treatment group reads both the implicit programs and their deimplicitized versions. We're going to measure the comprehension time and comprehension correctness and see how they are affected. We're also going to condition the results on the participant expertise on the application frameworks by conducting 2 separate experiments on novices and experts, respectively. For the analysis, we plan to adopt the frequentist approach to test normality, significance, and effect sizes. The main thrusts validity are generalizability to other application frameworks and to larger code bases. Thank you.